This message is not a joke. Final warning. A life-changing miracle is hanging in the balance. Archangel Michael says you ignored every sign already. This is not a casual message. This is a divine interruption. At this very moment, heaven has torn through the noise of your day, through the chaos of your thoughts, through the distractions that surround you, and Archangel Michael himself steps forward to deliver a final warning. This is not just another word. This is not for entertainment. This is not to tickle the ears or soothe the flesh. This is a summons from eternity, a shaking in the spirit realm that demands your full attention. For written in the scrolls of heaven, there is already a miracle bearing your name. It is not a wish. It is not a possibility. It has already been decreed, spoken, and sealed in the course of the Most High. But that miracle now hangs in the balance, suspended between what heaven has prepared and what your delay, your distraction, your neglect has hindered. You have ignored the whispers. You have brushed aside the dreams. You have silenced the warnings that came like gentle taps on your heart. Yet heaven has not ignored you. Heaven has not walked away. Heaven has not withdrawn the promise, though you have drifted from the posture required to receive it. This word is not for everyone. This is not for the casual here, not for the skeptic, not for those who mock divine interruptions. This is for the one who even now feels the trembling in their spirit. This is for the one who cannot deny that something has been stirring in their sleep, unsettling their days, pulling at their soul. If you feel the shaking, if you feel the urgency, then this message is marked for you. And here is the condition. Silence, obedience, and surrender are required. Not later. Not when it feels convenient. Not when your schedule aligns. Now. For the miracle will not meet you in noise, in rebellion, or in pride. It will meet you in quiet surrender, in bowed obedience, in swift alignment. Heaven is speaking, and your window to respond is shrinking. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Archangel Michael, the warrior of heaven, now stands at the threshold of your moment. His sword is unsheathed, not to wound, but to defend what heaven has decreed over your life. His voice cuts through the atmosphere with authority, declaring that the season of hesitation is over. The heavens have interrupted your scrolling, your distraction, your wandering thoughts, because the hour has struck. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration. By sunrise, the shift begins. Within 72 hours, heaven will record your response. This is not an empty statement, not a vague prophecy. This is a sealed decree. The records of heaven are alive with movement, angelic scribes preparing to etch your obedience or your refusal. The clock is not ticking against you. It is ticking for you, pushing you toward a destiny that refuses to be delayed any longer. Listen. If you are hearing this, then you are marked. This word is not floating freely into the air, meant for whoever happens to stumble across it. No. This word has been sealed, wrapped, and delivered directly to your spirit. It carries your name. It is for your ears, your heart, your destiny, You are not here by chance. You are here because heaven refused to let you miss this again. Every angel has leaned into this moment. Think of it. Heavenly hosts bending low, watching, waiting, pressing against the veil of time and eternity to ensure that you do not let this slip from your grasp. They are pulling you out of distraction, pulling you out of delay, pulling you out of the grip of doubt. For too long, you have dismissed what was sacred as if it were ordinary. For too long, you have questioned the signs, treating divine interruptions as passing coincidences. But heaven says no more. This is your interruption, and it is holy. Feel the urgency. Heaven does not stir in vain. The Spirit does not descend without purpose. You were supposed to see it before, but you looked away. You were supposed to hear it before, but you drowned it out with the noise of this world. You were supposed to respond before, but you let fear, pride, or distraction delay your obedience. But even now, mercy has arrived in the form of warning. The angelic hosts are not against you, they are for you, rallying around the promise that heaven has written for you. This is not survival anymore. This is positioning. Heaven is positioning you, but only if you respond. The sword of Michael is lifted, not as a threat, but as a declaration of warfare on your behalf. He stands between you and the adversary who thought he could claim what is rightfully yours. He declares protection. He declares alignment. He declares acceleration. The only question left is whether you will bow in obedience to the call or stand in resistance to the very miracle you have been crying out for. Hear the command clearly. The time is now. By sunrise, the shift begins. Within 72 hours, the record of heaven will be sealed concerning your response. And what you decide will echo not only in your tomorrow, but in the generations that follow you. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 777 is now surrounding you. There has been a hidden tension around you, a silent unrest that you could not fully name, yet it has followed you like a shadow. You have felt it in conversations where the words seemed harmless, but carried an undertone of mockery. You have seen it in the eyes of those who smile outwardly yet secretly question whether you will ever rise into what heaven has spoken. The whispers have been real. The doubters have been near. They have clothed themselves as friends, companions, supporters, yet their hearts were unsettled by your calling. They whispered in corners. They asked, "How long will it take? When will it happen?" And though they pretended to be close, they could not see the full blueprint of heaven's design over your life. This is why your soul has wrestled with unease. This is why your nights have carried dreams that made little sense, images and impressions you could not dismiss. You have been unsettled, waking in the middle of the night with no reason, sensing eyes on you, even when you are alone. You have felt resistance that came without explanation, plans delayed, doors slow to open, relationships shifting suddenly. This has not been random. This has not been coincidence. This has been the friction of destiny pressing against hidden resistance. Heaven reveals that part of your pain has come from proximity. The ones near you have not always been the ones for you. Some who clapped for you secretly fear what you will become. Some who smile in your presence quietly doubt the promise upon your life. They cannot understand why heaven continues to preserve you, why doors swing back open after every setback, why favor still follows you even in the silence of delay. They do not know that what rests on you is not by man's approval, but by divine decree. But even deeper than their whispers has been the stirring within your own spirit. You have asked questions. You have wondered if you imagined the signs. You have asked why resistance is so thick, why progress seems slow. And heaven responds, it is because the miracle hanging in the balance cannot be birthed lightly. It must come through shaking, through separation, through a pressing that forces you into silence and surrender. The disruption you feel is not punishment, it is preparation. Heaven is stripping away what cannot remain, exposing hearts that cannot travel with you, and unsettling every false comfort so that you do not stay where you are. You are not meant to walk blind, yet you are not meant to see everything at once. The mysteries you face are heaven's way of protecting the timing. The confusion is intentional, a veil that keeps you seeking, keeps you depending, keeps you surrendered. And though your spirit wrestles, though your heart aches, though your mind questions, heaven whispers, do not be deceived by the shadows. The plan has not shifted. The promise has not been withdrawn. What you feel is proof that the breaking is near. The disruption is emotional, yes, but it is divine. Heaven unsettles you because heaven refuses to let you stay in the wrong place with the wrong people at the wrong time. You are being pulled apart from what drains you and positioned for what will crown you. Let the whispers fade. Let the doubters talk. Heaven's hand is still moving, and what is whispered against you in secret will never stop what has been declared over you in eternity. Type I am covered in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1414 is now surrounding you. Beloved, as this word pierces your spirit, remember this. Every time you help lift this message higher, you are not just supporting a channel. You are sowing into the salvation of souls. When you give, you are planting seed into fertile soil, and that seed becomes light for someone lost in darkness. I hear the Spirit say, as you release, I will release. Your offering is not casual. It is prophetic. It is a river of oil that flows into someone else's breakthrough. If this word has confirmed what your spirit already knew, I invite you to respond by activating your faith. You can pour into this mission through super thanks, through channel membership, or directly through the PayPal link in the description below. Every act of giving is recorded in heaven's scrolls and returns to you in multiplied blessing. Do not delay. Move as heaven moves. The battle you are walking through is not what it appears to be. It is not merely financial strain, relational tension, or emotional unrest. What you are enduring is not ordinary. It is warfare. The shaking around you is not natural resistance. It is spiritual opposition. The delays that frustrate you, the sudden obstacles that rise without explanation, the conversations that turn sour without reason, these are not coincidences. They are evidence that the unseen realm has marked you, and that the adversary is resisting what heaven has decreed. Hear this clearly. The enemy would not fight you this hard if you were not chosen. He would not throw distractions, whispers, betrayals, and obstacles in your path if your destiny were insignificant. He fears the evidence of your becoming. He fears the weight of your calling. He fears the miracle that hangs in the balance, for he knows that when you step into alignment, not only will your life be transformed, but the ripple of your obedience will touch generations. That is why the battle has felt relentless. That is why the pressure has not lifted. Hell fears what heaven has written concerning you. But you must not misinterpret the conflict. You must not think that every attack is proof of abandonment. It is not that heaven has withdrawn. It is that heaven has trusted you with a fight that confirms your crown. Do not forget, battles in the spirit are signs of destiny in the natural. Resistance comes when breakthrough is near. The greater the warfare, the greater the confirmation that you are standing on the threshold of a shift. Every reaction you make is recorded. Heaven watches, not to condemn, but to confirm. The unseen realm studies your responses. Will you move in faith or surrender to fear? Will you retaliate with fleshly words, or will you be still and let heaven defend you? Even your silence is recorded as obedience or rebellion. Nothing is wasted. Every tear you cry, every moment you resist the urge to fight in the flesh, every time you choose prayer over retaliation, it becomes incense rising before the throne. Do not think that the conflict is just about you. It is about the lineage you carry, the assignments tied to your name, the lives connected to your obedience. The miracle in the balance is not only personal, it is generational. The enemy seeks to delay you because he fears the inheritance waiting to be released through you. But Archangel Michael stands now, declaring that this conflict is not the end. It is the proving ground. It is the battlefield upon which your faith is sharpened, your obedience tested, and your authority forged. Take heart. What feels like warfare is actually the womb of your breakthrough. The clash in the spirit is a sign that heaven's decree has already been written and sealed. The enemy only fights what he cannot stop. His resistance is a counterfeit of power, an illusion meant to break your focus. But hear this, heaven has not stepped back. Heaven has leaned closer. Every strike against you has already been measured, already been weighed, already been countered by the armies of light. You stand not as a victim, but as a warrior marked by heaven. Your prayers are not whispers lost in the air. They are commands that summon angels. Your stillness is not weakness. It is proof of trust that moves the hand of God. So do not misinterpret the shaking. It is not your fall. It is your confirmation. The miracle that hangs in the balance is still secure, and heaven has not forgotten your name. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2233 is now active around you. Hear me now. There is movement in the unseen. Someone is shifting, plotting, preparing a confrontation that will soon manifest. In the natural, it will look like coincidence, a conversation that escalates, an unexpected message, an opportunity that turns into pressure. But in the spirit, it is warfare rising to its climax. The whispers in the dark are gathering into action. The hands that once remained still are preparing to move. And heaven says this, within 72 hours, Escalation will begin to show itself if you do not reposition. This is not a word of fear. It is a word of warning. The signs will be clear. You will feel sudden tension in places where peace once lingered. You will notice unusual resistance in matters that should be simple. Dreams will intensify, carrying images that disrupt your sleep. Conversations will shift, revealing motives you did not expect. This is heaven's alarm sounding in your spirit. The conflict is not random. It is the adversary pressing harder because breakthrough is dangerously near. Do not dismiss the heaviness you feel as simple emotion. Do not brush away the strange encounters, the sudden friction, the unexplained pressure. These are indicators that the climax of this battle is upon you. You are standing at the edge of a turning point. The adversary knows that if he cannot break your focus now, he will never have access to you again in this cycle. That is why the pressure is mounting. That is why the days feel heavier. That is why conversations seem sharper. The enemy is desperate because he senses that heaven's hand is about to break through in undeniable ways. But here is the mystery. Heaven will not expose everything at once. You will be given glimpses, not full revelations. You will hear hints, but not the entire plan. Heaven holds back details, not to frustrate you, but to protect you. For if you knew everything, you might try to fight in the flesh. You might retaliate with your own strength, and that would play into the enemy's hand. Instead, heaven says, watch, discern, and remain positioned. The escalation will reveal itself, but your response must be silence and obedience. The warning is urgent. Within 72 hours, signs of confrontation will appear. It may be small at first, an argument, a closed door, a sharp word. Do not react. Do not rush. Do not try to prove yourself. Let heaven defend you. For the very escalation meant to expose you will, in time, expose them. The pressure that feels unbearable will become the very proof of your anointing. The enemy's plan is to pull you into chaos. Heaven's plan is to keep you hidden until the miracle unfolds. Do not mistake the delay for denial. Do not mistake the pressure for punishment. This is positioning. The warning is not meant to paralyze you. It is meant to prepare you. Heaven's armies are already stationed. Archangel Michael's sword is already lifted. The escalation will come, but so will the protection. The confrontation will rise, but so will the covering. And when the dust settles, it will be known that you were preserved by heaven itself. So watch the signs, discern the shifts, and hold your ground. The 72 hours ahead are crucial, but they will also be confirming. What rises against you will fall, and what was meant to harm you will only position you closer to the miracle already sealed in heaven's scrolls. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 888 is now covering you. Be still. Hear these words clearly. Heaven fights when you do not. The instinct of the flesh is to argue, to prove, to defend, to strike back. But the instruction of heaven is different. Your silence will be your strategy. Your restraint will be your shield. The confrontation rising against you is not meant to be answered with words, but with stillness. For in your silence, heaven's voice will thunder. In your stillness, heaven's armies will move. Do not be deceived into thinking that silence is weakness. The world may say that strength is shown in loudness, in retaliation, in proving one's worth. But in the kingdom of God, silence is a weapon. It is a sign of trust. It is a declaration that you are covered, that you are hidden, that you are not your own defender, because the defender of heaven has already taken up your cause. Every time you resist the urge to fight in your own strength, you release angels to fight in the spirit realm on your behalf. This is why the adversary presses so hard to provoke you. This is why arguments rise out of nowhere, why misunderstandings escalate quickly, why emotions feel inflamed. The enemy is baiting you into battle in the flesh, hoping to distract you from the truth that your greatest victory will not come from your mouth, but from your stillness. A trap is set to lure you out of divine protection, but if you remain in silence, you remain hidden under heaven's shadow. Do not chase explanations. Do not waste energy trying to convince others of what heaven has already declared. The ones who are meant to see will see in time, and the ones who refuse to see were never meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Release the need to justify yourself. Release the burden of proving your innocence. The one who searches hearts knows the truth, and his judgment is perfect. Instead of defending yourself, speak affirmations of covering. I am hidden in divine timing. I am covered by heaven's shield. Nothing missing, nothing broken. These words are not empty, they are weapons in the unseen realm. Every declaration of faith creates a barrier. Every whispered affirmation builds a fortress. While the world expects you to lash out, you will instead release the fragrance of surrender. And in that fragrance, the armies of heaven will surround you. Protective guidance has been sent because the next 72 hours will test your patience. The enemy will try to corner you, provoke you, drag you into battles that are beneath your calling. Do not engage. Withdraw your energy from arguments. Step back from those who seek to pull you into conflict. It will not be your words that silence the accusers. It will be heaven's intervention. Stand in stillness and watch the Lord turn their weapons back upon them. Know this, you are not uncovered. You are not vulnerable. You are not defenseless. Heaven's shield surrounds you. Archangel Michael's sword stands between you and every stray. The protective hand of God has hidden you under his wings, and no scheme of man, no plot of hell, no whisper of the enemy can pierce that covering. Your silence will not betray you, it will elevate you. Your surrender will not leave you powerless, it will open the gates for power beyond your imagination. Therefore, breathe. Rest. Hold your peace. Let heaven fight, and you will see what no man can deny, that you are kept, that you are covered, that you are untouchable in the arms of the Almighty. Type I am covered in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9911 is now surrounding you. You have been hidden. You have been pressed. You have been silenced. But now heaven declares, it is time for the shift. No longer shall you see yourself as fragile, weak, or forgotten. No longer shall you allow the whispers of doubters to define your worth. The season of victimhood is over, for you are not the wounded one crawling in the shadows. You are the fire, the wings, the ascension that no resistance can contain. Like a seed buried in the ground, you have endured the crushing weight of soil, the darkness of silence, the loneliness of being unseen. Yet even in the burial, life was forming. Pressure was not your end, pressure was your beginning. The seed must break before it can bloom, and so too must you. The breaking you endured was not destruction, it was transformation. And now, the sprout pushes through the soil, the roots deepen, the stem rises. What once seemed buried is now rising, unstoppable, undeniable, radiant with glory. You are not who they assumed you were. They mistook your silence for weakness, but silence was the training ground of your power. They mistook your waiting for delay, but waiting was the womb of your acceleration. You are not the fragile one they expected to fall apart. You are the warrior they never saw coming. Heaven has refined you, not to keep you hidden forever, but to reveal you at the appointed time. And that time is breaking open now. Hear this truth. Empowerment is not given by man. It is released by heaven. No title, no platform, no earthly approval can grant what heaven has already placed within you. Your authority does not come from crowds clapping. It comes from the oil poured over your life in the secret place. That oil has been tested in silence, and now it will be revealed in power. The fire within you cannot be quenched, for it was lit by the hand of God Himself. Lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. Walk not as one uncertain of their calling, but as one marked with divine authority. Your words will carry weight. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Your obedience will unlock doors no man can shut. You are rising, not in arrogance, but in divine confidence. And that confidence is not rooted in your ability, but in the one who sent you. This is no longer about survival. This is about ascension. You are crossing out of a season of endurance and into a season of dominion. The shaking prepared you, the silence fortified you, the breaking transformed you. Now the empowerment crowns you. Do not look back. Do not shrink. Do not apologize for the fire you carry. This fire was given to you for a reason, and the world will see it blaze. So let every whisper fall silent. Let every doubter watch in awe. Let every enemy tremble as they realize that what they tried to bury has become unstoppable. The miracle hanging in the balance is no longer distant. It is near, and it is being carried in the wings of your rising. Heaven says, rise. Heaven says, burn. Heaven says, ascend. Type I am rising in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3030 is now activated in your life. Hear me now, for the veil is lifting. The season you have walked through was never punishment, it was positioning. Every delay, every betrayal, every unanswered question was not heaven's rejection, but heaven's redirection. What looked like silence was strategy. What felt like abandonment was alignment. The fire you endured was not meant to consume you, but to refine you into the vessel capable of carrying what heaven has prepared. The revelation comes like lightning. Your miracle required pruning. Your destiny required separation. Your breakthrough required silence. Heaven could not allow every hand to go with you, because not every hand was clean enough to touch the promise. Heaven could not allow every voice to follow you, because not every voice was faithful enough to steward your next season. So the pruning came. The silence stretched. The stripping hurt. But it was necessary, for the miracle that bears your name is too sacred to be shared with those who could not honor it. This was not about loss. It was about unlocking. You thought things were taken from you, but heaven was making room for something greater. You thought doors were slammed shut, but those doors were barriers that would have delayed your elevation. You thought people walked away, but they were removed so you could finally walk forward unchained. The revelation is clear. Heaven did not take from you. Heaven cleared the path for you. Now the announcement resounds. This is the unlocking. Even now, documents are being shifted. Names are being aligned. Connections are being orchestrated. Heaven's scribes have written your name in scrolls of destiny, and what was delayed is being accelerated. Hidden files are opening, unseen opportunities are surfacing, and the right doors are beginning to respond to heaven's command. You will see alignments so precise that you will know without question. It was not man's doing, but heaven's orchestration. Your name has not been forgotten. Your prayers have not been lost. Your obedience has not been wasted. The scrolls of heaven bear witness to your surrender, and the voice of the Lord thunders over you even now. This is the one I have chosen. This is the one I have refined. This is the one I will elevate. Your miracle is no longer waiting in shadows. It is stepping into the light. The revelation declares that what once looked impossible is now becoming undeniable. So let your heart rest. Let your faith arise. The pruning was painful, but it was purposeful. The silence was long, but it was strategic. And now the revelation confirms. Heaven has already sealed the victory. Nothing and no one can take what was written for you before the foundations of the world. Type I am unlocked in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 5151 is now surrounding you. Beloved, as this revelation sinks into your spirit, I remind you, this is not just about your journey, but about the countless souls still waiting to hear the same word of hope. Every time you sow into this mission, you are not funding a voice, you are fueling a harvest. Your giving becomes a stream of living water, reaching dry places you may never see with your own eyes. The Lord says, as you pour, I will pour back into you. When you activate your generosity, it becomes a prophetic act, opening heavens over your own life. You can sow into this work through super thanks, through joining as a channel member, or through the PayPal link in the description below. Do not hesitate. Your act of faith today carries eternal weight. Release and watch heaven release over you. The moment has come where heaven is not only speaking, but waiting. Destiny is not a passive promise. It is an active covenant. Heaven has already declared your miracle, but the fulfillment now requires your response. This is why you feel the weight of urgency pressing against your spirit. This is why silence has lingered and resistance has intensified. Heaven is waiting for your yes. Not tomorrow. Not when it feels convenient. Now. Understand this truth. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. Each time you postpone your surrender, the miracle is pushed further out of reach. But heaven has not withdrawn its hand. Instead, heaven is asking you to rise, to declare, to align, to activate. This is not the time for hesitation. This is the time to speak boldly, to write your affirmations, to declare in prayer, to seal your surrender with action. Heaven records not only what you believe, but what you release with your voice. For life and death are in the power of the tongue, and your destiny responds to the sound you make in faith. Do not think that alignment is only about words. It is also about obedience, about sacrifice, about walking in the posture heaven requires. For some, this means letting go of what no longer fits the future. For others, this means sowing when it feels uncomfortable. For others still, this means stepping forward into what once terrified you. Activation demands action. Destiny will not unlock for those who remain still in fear. It opens for those who step, even trembling, into obedience. This is your hour to rise, not retreat. The Spirit says, your hesitation has cost you enough. Your silence has delayed you enough. Now is the time to declare your yes. And heaven waits with pen in hand, ready to write down your surrender, ready to seal your alignment in the courts of eternity. Even now, angels stand by, waiting for your declaration, ready to move on the authority of your words. Do not underestimate the power of what you carry. Heaven is not waiting for someone else. Heaven is waiting for you. You are the key to the door before you. You are the vessel for the oil heaven has prepared. You are the one chosen to walk in authority and breakthrough. When you say yes, when you step forward, when you declare alignment, everything around you will begin to respond. The atmosphere will shift. Doors will open. Resistance will fall. But it begins with you. Destiny is calling, and the miracle is still hanging in the balance. This is your activation moment. Do not delay. Speak. Declare. Write. Pray. Align. Let your yes rise into the heavens and watch how quickly the breakthrough manifests. For heaven is not waiting to decide, it is waiting to record. And once you move, the scrolls of eternity will seal your future with fire. Type ISAYYS in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4114 is now activated over your life. Even now, while you sit in silence, while you wrestle with questions, while you feel the stretching of your faith, something is happening in realms unseen. The spirit realm is not still. It is alive with movement. Heaven is negotiating on your behalf. Angels are moving. Records are shifting. Transactions are being sealed. You may not hear it with your natural ears, but your spirit has already sensed the trembling. This is why you have felt restless. This is why peace seems to come and go in waves. Heaven is working in silence, and the silent exchange has already begun. Every tear you cried was not wasted. It was gathered. Every prayer you whispered was not ignored. It was recorded. Every moment you surrendered when no one else saw became evidence in the courts of heaven. And in those courts, decisions are being made. Things that were stolen are being commanded to return. Things that were delayed are being loosed into acceleration. Things that were locked are being ordered to open. While you were weeping, heaven was collecting. While you were waiting, heaven was arranging. While you were sleeping, angels were moving in the shadows. Do not think the silence means nothing is happening. Silence in the natural is thunder in the spirit. Heaven rarely announces every move, for the enemy listens too. That is why you do not see everything, why you cannot trace every step. Heaven conceals what it is working on, but the results will be undeniable. What is happening now is not random. It is exchange. Blessing is being traded for curses. Restoration is being traded for loss. Promotion is being traded for humiliation. You are in the middle of a divine transaction, and soon it will manifest before your eyes. Your spirit already knows this. That is why you have felt the strange stirring, why rest has been disrupted, why thoughts come suddenly that you cannot explain. Your spirit is connected to what heaven is doing, even when your mind cannot comprehend it. You are sensing the weight of what is shifting. You feel the stretching because heaven is pulling what belongs to you out of captivity and into release. Be encouraged. The silence is not punishment. It is protection. If heaven revealed too much, you would be tempted to fight in the flesh, to step out of alignment, to interfere in the timing. But in silence, heaven shields you from premature action. In silence, heaven hides the treasure until it is secure. The exchange is happening right now, even as you listen. The transaction is not waiting for a later day. It is active, present, unfolding. And when it manifests, you will stand in awe, for you will know it could only have been heaven. Rest in this truth. The unseen is more powerful than the seen. The silence is filled with movement. The stillness is charged with activity. What belongs to you is being returned. What was locked is being released, and what was hidden is being unveiled. The silent exchange in the spirit realm is your assurance that heaven has not forgotten you. Soon, what was secret will become visible, and all will know that you were covered by the hand of God. Type "I receive" the exchange in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 7227 is now surrounding you. Justice is moving. The scales of heaven are tipping, and the weight of every unjust word, every plotted scheme, every silent betrayal is being measured. Heaven has recorded what was done against you. Nothing escaped the eye of the Almighty. Every time they whispered against you, every time they plotted in secret, every time they celebrated what they thought was your downfall, heaven was watching. And now comes the decree. What was intended for your harm is being turned for your good. A reversal has begun. The justice of God does not move slowly. When the time is appointed, it comes like a flood, swift and undeniable. This is that time. The adversary thought he had stole too much, delayed you too long, silenced you too deeply. But the Lord of hosts has declared repayment. What was stolen will be returned sevenfold. What was blocked will be unlocked. What was silenced will now resound with victory. The very weapons formed against you are turning back on those who forged them. Do not mistake this as revenge. This is not carnal vengeance. This is holy justice. Heaven does not act to satisfy your flesh. It acts to establish divine order. And the order of heaven says, the righteous will be vindicated, the faithful will be elevated, the chosen will be preserved. You have carried shame, but heaven is clothing you in honor. You have endured loss, but heaven is multiplying restoration. You have faced closed doors, but heaven is commanding new gates to swing wide. Look for the signs of reversal. The very places where you were mocked will become platforms of your testimony. The very people who doubted will witness your elevation. The very areas where you were broken will overflow with abundance. This is not empty encouragement. It is a spiritual decree. The Spirit says, I will restore to you the years the locust has eaten. I will cause rivers to flow in dry places. I will crown you with glory where others tried to bury you in ashes. The unseen forces are already securing your victory. Angels are retrieving what was taken. Doors are being unlocked in places you never expected. Names are being mentioned in rooms you have never entered. Documents are shifting in your favor. And it will not take years. It will begin suddenly. For when heaven moves, it does not crawl. It accelerates. The reversal is not only about possessions. It is about position. You are being lifted into visibility, into influence, into favor. The trials you endured were the womb of this elevation. Those who counted you out will have no choice but to watch you walk into what heaven always intended. You will not have to force it. You will not have to beg for it. You will not have to manipulate it. It will be undeniable, because it will be orchestrated by heaven alone. So rejoice, for justice is not coming. It is here. Reversal is not a promise for another season. It has begun in this one. The miracle that hung in the balance is shifting into manifestation, and nothing and no one can reverse what heaven has already decreed in your favor. Type divine justice in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 8448 is now active in your life. This is not a joke. This is not a passing message. This is the final warning before the shift. A life-changing miracle has hung in the balance, and heaven has refused to let you miss it. Archangel Michael himself has stepped forward, sword lifted, voice thundering, declaring that you cannot delay another moment. Every sign you ignored has led you here. Every whisper you brushed aside, every dream you doubted, every warning you dismissed, heaven saw it all. Yet mercy speaks again. Grace interrupts once more. You are still chosen, and the miracle is still waiting. You have walked through shaking. You have endured silence. You have been pressed by betrayal, provoked by conflict, and unsettled by delay. But none of it was wasted. It was not punishment. It was preparation. It was not rejection. It was refinement. And now heaven seals this truth over you. The miracle you thought was slipping away is secured. The breakthrough you thought was denied is being released. The destiny you feared was delayed is rising in power. Lift your head. Let the fear fall away. Heaven has declared over you, you are sealed, you are seen, you are sent. You are not stepping into uncertainty, you are stepping into divine certainty. You are not crawling into your promise, you are rising into it with the authority of one chosen, refined, and anointed. Archangel Michael covers you. Heaven surrounds you. The Lord Himself goes before you. So walk forward now with unshakable assurance. The battle is not yours. It belongs to the Lord. The justice is not delayed. It is already unfolding. The miracle is not suspended. It is breaking forth even now. You have been preserved for this hour, and nothing can stop what heaven has decreed. This is not a joke. This is heaven's voice. This is your. Now it is your turn to rise. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9999 is now covering you with divine protection. Beloved, as this word comes to a close, I urge you, do not let the seed of this revelation fall to the ground. Every time you pour into this mission, you are not just supporting a broadcast, you are igniting revival. Your offering is like oil poured on the altar, fueling the fire that carries God's word to nations, to souls who are desperate for hope. The Lord says, "Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed." As you sow, heaven records your sacrifice and releases blessings beyond what you could imagine. If this message has marked your spirit, I invite you to move prophetically. You can give through super thanks, through channel membership, or through the PayPal link in the description below. Do it now. Let your act of faith echo in eternity.